What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name's Greg. Hope you guys are all doing good, staying safe out there amidst all the, it's only like half crazy now, but whatever. I wanted to do a video for you guys today. I wanted to share all the ways that Cover could have helped me out over the years of Ubering. Obviously, if it had been around back when I started, I would have been on this immediately, but it wasn't, and a lot of you still don't understand the value in this company, so I want to give you guys just a glimpse into why you need to sign up for Cover. For those of you who don't really know what Cover is yet, Cover is probably the best service that's ever, graced Uber and Lyft's presence. Obviously, it's like a third-party, service. It's not directly affiliated with Uber or Lyft, but it partners with them, and it's just a phenomenal service. So what does Cover do? Well, they really do a lot of things, so it's hard to really narrow it down. But think of it this way. There's a lot of needs we have as rideshare drivers for Uber and Lyft that aren't ever covered. There's just countless scenarios, mostly bad, that if you end up in a scenario like that, you're going to be screwed because Uber and Lyft doesn't really do a lot for us because we're not really employees. So Cover kind of bridges that gap. So some of the biggest ways I think it's useful is that their main thing they do is they just help you fight scenarios that you shouldn't be in. So one of the biggest things that I think they're powerful for is they help drivers get reactivated. That's probably the number one thing we've seen at the Rideshare Hub that people write in about is wrongful deactivations. A lot of drivers get deactivated for reasons that, that's not really their fault. They didn't do anything wrong. I'm sure most of you have loved your process with Checker, which seems to be the worst background checking company on the planet, because it takes them 48 weeks to figure out who we are, apparently. I don't know why their background checks take so long, but it's horrible. But I think right now Checker is actually not even running right now, which wouldn't shock me, but I'm pretty sure they're for sure not. So anyways, so you get wrongfully deactivated. Cover basically comes in, they're gonna write letters to Uber, they're gonna make phone calls on your behalf, and with lawyers. And that's an insanely powerful service, because if you call into Uber, they don't give a crap. If Cover calls in and it's a lawyer writing a letter, well, now they got a different story on their hands. They got to be a little bit threatened by that for obvious reasons. Uber's no newcomer to lawsuits, but they definitely don't want to deal with them again. I can promise you that. So that's the biggest way that I think it's helpful. Now, the way that I really like, another way that they can help you that I really like is if you get into an accident or you're in any scenario where you can't drive, even if it's for health reasons, Cover will cover 80% of your proven earnings for all the days you're not there. So I wanted to give you guys direct examples of this, because I've had some times where if I'd had this, would have really, really helped me. So the number one way it would have really helped me was in my car accident. I don't know how many of you guys have seen my car accident video. I think I've actually made it a few different times. But I was in a car accident that went really, really bad. It wasn't my fault. I did have passengers in the car. I was going through a green light at 2 in the morning. Some dude flew through and just nailed me, T-boned me. So it was his fault. He admitted that. He wasn't even trying to fight it or be shady. He was like, yo, that was on me. I'm really sorry. We're going to take care of this. So what happened when I tried to deal with it is my insurance, I hadn't, I didn't have commercial insurance. And so that was a whole fiasco. So Geico just essentially washed their hands clean of that. They didn't want anything to do with it. Uber, of course, washed their hands clean of it. They didn't want anything to do with it. And it came down to where I got really fortunate that the kid was compliant, because I had to deal with his insurance myself, so, but what happened was I wasn't 25 yet. My car went into the shop for 2 weeks and I didn't have a vehicle to drive, and I couldn't get a rental car because I wasn't 25 yet. I don't think Lyft or Uber had their rental program yet when this happened. They may have, but either way, I'm I've done that program. It's a horrible program. It's they're taking money from your pockets, basically. So I had no options. Like, I had no really solid options. And so I ended up just not having a vehicle and not being able to work for 2 weeks while my car was worked on. So in this case, Cover would have covered 80% of my rideshare earnings. Now, I went back and looked into this, and what I did to kind of get a rough idea of what I was making at the time is I took it from like a 3-month span, added up all my earnings, and then just basically took the median of it, or the average of it. And so what it came down to is, at the time, I was making anywhere from $750 to $850 a week. I was driving very actively then. So let's just say it was 800. I would have been getting about $650 a week from Cover, because that would have been 80% of my earnings, and they would have covered that for those 2 weeks while I was waiting for my car to get done. Now, that would have helped me massively, because at the time it actually caused a lot of financial problems for me. I was late on rent. I had a whole number of bills that I didn't pay. I mean, at that time for me, Ubering and Lyfting was like, I was driving to make ends meet, and there was nothing extra. Like, I was paying most of my bills the day they were due, and you know, a lot of times I was Ubering that day to get the money to pay it. It was a tough time for me, so it really screwed me over. If I had even gotten that 640, if I'd even gotten the two, 640, you're talking $1,280. It would have been a life changer for me. So that's why, like, to me, I look at Cover and I'm like, this is a no-brainer. Like, why would nobody do this? Because here's the thing we do as Uber and Lyft drivers, all right? A lot of us kind of live that lifestyle where we're paying everything right on the dot. And that's like kind of the deceiving thing about Uber and Lyft is it's not too often that you're really profiting as much as you're always barely breaking even, So anything goes wrong and you're screwed. And that's what happened to me. It went wrong. I didn't have a vehicle for 2 weeks and I was completely screwed. It had nothing to do. I just had to accept that I was going to get negative interest and be late on payments, and it was horrible. So that's the biggest way that they could have seriously helped me there. I think I would have made most of my bills. I might have been short on one of them by a little bit, but at the very least, it wouldn't have been such a freaking stressful time of my life. Now, one of the other ways they can really help is, like I was saying, with the deactivations. Now, that's not just permanent deactivations. I know probably a good amount of you have been temporarily deactivated. I have. I have a video on that story too, but just to sum it up real quickly, I was driving on a weekend. It was a Friday night. I was going to really grind that weekend. Stopped to get some food at probably like 9-10 p.m. Just wanted to be full until 2-3 a.m. with the big bar rush. When I got done eating, I went back out to, keep driving, and I couldn't log on. And they decided to temporarily deactivate my account that weekend with no notice, no email, no phone call saying it's going to happen. And they just decided to temporarily deactivate me just to make sure I hadn't become a serial killer in the meantime, or whatever they look for there. And I get why they have to do that. It's just really annoying, and it could be done a lot better. If they would have just let me know it's going to happen, then I can plan for it, right? So what happens is my account's deactivated for like 6 or 7 days. It was like way too long. And it's like I was saying earlier in the video, like, background checks don't take that long. It's just freaking Checker, for whatever reason, takes forever to do everything. So, basically around that same time, like I said, I was deactivated for, close to a full week. And that's another scenario where if I had had Cover, they do cover random deactivations. So what is Cover, all in all? Cover is your rideshare insurance, is like the way I like to look at it. Now, I'm not saying like it's like commercial insurance. It's not car insurance. What I'm saying is it's like your peace of mind. It's like your insurance for your security, to know that, like, in almost any situation, they're going to take care of you in the ways that Uber and Lyft will not. Major injury, major sickness, car accident, they're the ones you need. So for how cheap it is, it's a no-brainer. I've been harping on this more and more and more, And I'm harping on it because it's honestly better than any other company out there that like is affiliated with Uber and Lyft. As awesome as GetUpside is, it's way better than GetUpside. As awesome as Octopus is, it's way better than Octopus. This is the best company that has ever had anything to do with Uber and Lyft. You guys have got to get on it. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm telling you, check out Cover, link in the description. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Talk soon.